Today, we're going to be testing out and doing some tinkering with Clawdbot, aka Moltbot. And one of the things I want to set up as a new workflow is I want to get Clawdbot to message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average, right? So it's kind of like a competitor monitoring tool. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to go inside the chat. I'm going to say, message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average. How can we set this up, right? And it will actually tell me what API I need to set up. Now, this is a new workflow. Never tried it before, so it'd be interesting to see if we can, number one, set it up, and number two, how well it performs. Now, if you haven't seen already, you might be asking, okay, what can you do with Moltbot or Clawdbot? They're both the same thing. It's just Clawdbot has rebranded to Moltbot this week. Essentially, you can, for example, create avatar videos, create voice clones. You can control your Chrome extension. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff like this, right? So what we're going to do over here is we can say we can set it up, but you need to know how we measure performs better than average and how we fetch stats. The clean setup, use YouTube data API plus a scheduled job that checks competitor uploads and compares view velocity versus their baseline. Here's what we need from you. So we're going to start setting up, and then it'll be a small script that runs every 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Or it can actually do something without an API key as well. But I'm going to see if we can get an API key. So I'm going to say how to get an API key, make sure it's all compliant with YouTube guidelines too. I think you could probably use something like Appify as well to help you as well. Nico says, this is AI. We are covering AI today. That's well observed. Mash says, hi there. Mikey says somewhere. And Paul says morning. All right, cool. So we're going to grab a YouTube API key and let's have a look. So it says here's a clean way to do it. This is Google's official way. So when you use YouTube data API to read public data, channel uploads and view counts, we're going to get a YouTube data API key. So we're going to do that from Google Cloud, as you can see. And then from there, it's going to create a project like you can see right here. All right. So we're going to get straight into this. And let's continue working on this. Samuel says, have it run on AWS instance. Have to say it's quite impressive so far. It is pretty good. Just be careful if you're using AWS or any sort of VPS when you're doing this, because, you know, it's not the best, mate. There's been a few issues with that for sure. So I'm going to navigate over to Google now. Create a new project. So let's see, how do we create a new project? One thing that I do find kind of annoying with Clawdbot is like sometimes it will tell you to do something but not explain how to do it. So I'm actually going to ask that to do it in the skill. I'm going to say, whenever you give instructions, you need to tell me exactly step by step how to do it. E.g., you can see on the page you've linked to me. I can't see a create project option like you mentioned. Who else we got here? We got Wilty, legendary member, welcome here. And we got Carlos, always good to see you, Carlos. Thanks for joining. Samuel says, yeah, hence on AWS. However, it's great with Playwright and Chromium. Nice. All right. So we're going to look at the top bar near the Google Cloud logo. Then we're going to click the project drop down. Here we go. New project. And we've maxed out our projects. All right. Maybe I can rename one of these ones. say I've maxed out the number of projects I've created. How to add new ones. Good day. Can I apply the way you are setting this up in Google to? Yeah, you can use Kimi K2.5 as well. And Dominic says, I need a treadmill like you're using. Need to look at Lazada to order one. Yeah, I got one off Shopee. It was about 3,000 baht. Shout out to people using Lazada and Shopee right now. Not many people know about it, to be honest. So we're going to delete one that we don't use. Let's see what we got here. We can delete this one. Says scheduled to be deleted after March the 1st. All right. Fat J says Kimi 2.5 is okay, but Claude Opus is so much better. Yeah, I would agree. Claude Opus is the best, but honestly, like ChatGPT Codex is really good. You get more tokens, and you get no issues that way, right? So you're not worried about it. We got Dominic and Rayong. Shout out to you. Calvin asked about growing a business. So if you want to grow a business with Clawdbot, check out the AR Profit Boardroom. We've got loads of training in there on how to do it. I'm using Docker on one of my servers. Does Moltbot can automation for SEO like auto post on WordPress? Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's pretty good for that actually. Let me show you an example, right? So this is a page that we published to our website targeting the keyword best SEO speakers with Clawdbot. Literally just went into Clawdbot, said create an article on best SEO speakers. If you give the login details to Clawdbot on how to log into WordPress and you create a separate account for it, then it can create content and publish it directly to WordPress just from the chat app. So yeah, it's really powerful for that. And you can see, literally I only created it a few days ago and it's already ranking number 3 inside AI overviews. Plus it's ranking number 3 on Google directly as well. All right, so it's performing very well using that process. What computer are you running on this? Yeah, so I'm running it on a Mac Mini. Honestly, the minimal requirements are pretty basic. I think like no matter where you run it, you can run it on an old laptop or whatever, and then just run it through there. Yes, but I mean the bot itself, how it talks and things. Yeah, I would agree. Like ChatGPT doesn't have much personality when you use Clawdbot, whereas, for example, Claude, it just has so much more personality for sure. But if it costs a lot of tokens and it gets expensive, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know about that, you know? So you do spend a lot of tokens using something like Clawdbot. So pick a project that isn't being deleted, click the link in the list, find a project with status equals active. All right, let's try that. Click the project, open it. This is like literally the least useful UI I've ever seen. We'll go back inside here. Okay, we're inside that project now. Then we just need to enable the YouTube API. So I'm going to enable it right there. And then we just need to try the API. So it's set up. So we've got YouTube Data API v3 here, and then we just need to set it up. So I'll do that in the background with the API key. And we need to open up the credentials bit, which I've just clicked on over here. Click create credentials, API key. Restrict the key to YouTube. Hit save. There's more details about how to set up the API for YouTube right here as well. Now I've got the API key. So I'm going to go over to Clawdbot. It should set that up in the background. What do I do if I get this error in Moltbot? This version of anti-gravity is no longer supported. I would screenshot the error and just ask Clawdbot, why are you not opening up anti-gravity, or why are you giving me this error? And then just iteratively cycle through it. Also, you can switch between Claude and Clawdbot, give them both the same error, and just keep cycling through until eventually get this solution. It might take about 3 or 4 back and forths, but eventually you get there. How do you do it without an API? Some people do it with OAuth, but I don't recommend connecting OAuth Claude. They've said don't do it. Don't do it, you know? SEOIZ says, may I ask how long it took you to become skilled in using Clawdbot? Could you please let me know if there are any tutorials available? I'm interested in using Clawdbot to improve my website's SEO. Yeah, so I've been using it for, literally since it first came out. So it started blowing up around Saturday last week, and that's when I started using it. If you want to learn how to use it for SEO or just in general, check out the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Go to the SAP section here, and then we've got a full section on like how to connect it to WordPress directly with the WordPress setup guide right here. So if you want the Claude and WordPress setup guide, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We've got a full 3-hour course on how to really master Clawdbot as well inside there. So if you want the details, you can go with it. All right, so it set up the API key now. As you can see, we just plugged it in. And then it says send me 5 to 20 competitor channel links, which I'll do in a second. Pick the raw views in first 2 hours, 2x median of last 12 videos. That would be pretty good. I like option A. I'm just going to do it with an existing channel that we have that publishes like clips. I'm going to say views in first 2 hours. I can always delete this later, but I want to test if it actually works first. And let's see if it does that. I have a feeling the API key is not going to work first time around. I just know what API integration with Google Cloud is like. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Either way, it's going to be fun. Fat J says, hello, I use Kimi K2.5. It's 100 times cheaper. Moltbot isn't responding. That's exactly what I was asking you. So then you just use Claude, right? Like if Moltbot is not responding, then just use Claude, right? Go to Claude, give it the GitHub documentation, and ask it from there. When you are using Kimi within Clawdbot with OpenRouter, now you can connect Kimi K2.5 API directly. There's been no post from Claude Anthropic regarding not using .NET X. Always love your content, smashing it. Thank you very much. Never used YouTube API. Checking it out. Yeah, I found the same. I found OpenRouter was not very good with Clawdbot. And also, I think it's more expensive directly on OpenRouter, whereas you can use it cheaper directly inside there. All right. Okay. What's up, Julian? Rui says, perfect. All right. So I think we've got this set up. So it says done. Test channel is wired and running. Here's what I did. Updated the monitor so it can accept a YouTube handle. Set your test competitor in the config file. Ran the script successfully. And now it's actually scraped. So, well, it's not scraped, but it's like it's used the YouTube API to get the channel ID, check out the latest video, check out the age of the video, how many views it got, blah, 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 right? Next up, it will ping you automatically, right? Tell me how often you want checks. I'm going to say every 60 mins. And that's pretty awesome. So just to recap on that workflow, and we'll put it inside the notes here of the AR Profit Boardroom, we can monitor competitor YouTube channels, and you could do that for like, websites, whatever you want. Every time there's an outlier, it will automatically ping you, right? See, so it monitors my competitor YouTube channels automatically. Every time there's a competitor that does better versus everyone else versus normal, it will automatically ping me in the chat with the video idea. That's pretty insane. That is super useful as well. I mean, that's like basically, usually most people, they pay for stuff like 1of10.com. I found 1of10 was just like really outdated data. That was the only problem. Whereas now I can give it loads of competitor URLs. And if we get like a really good website, if we get a really good YouTube video idea, it will tell me, right? It says, I've added an hourly heartbeat task, what it will do each hour. So it's going to run the API key monitor with the Python script. If the output starts with alerts, I'll message you on Telegram with the alert lines plus YouTube URLs. Next step, add more competitor channels when you're ready. Just paste the channel links. Pretty nice. And so I'm just going to do that in the background. What else we got here? Which model am I running? I'm running Codex CLI with it. That seems to be the best. SEO says if I get the monthly, will I get access to all the video tutorials to help me achieve the same results you'll get now? Yes, you will. Yeah, it's all inside there. So when you actually sign up to the AI Profit Boardroom, let me show you what you get for the monthly, right? So if you sign up here, you get access to the AI Profit Boardroom, which means you get number one, 4 weekly coaching calls a week. So you can jump on live coaching calls. And number two, inside the community, you can ask any questions you have, right? If you're in the SEO industry, for example, you can type in SEO in the search bar, go to members, and you can see all the SEOs that are in there right now. On top of that, you can get all of my best SEO trainings, like you can see. And if you go to the classroom, you get access to all of these video tutorials. Now, if you want to learn how to use Clawdbot specifically, go to the Moltbot, formerly known as Clawdbot section here. You got a full 3-hour course. You got full setup guides for everything that I've used it for, including WordPress setup, right? So if you want to get WordPress setup, you can see the WordPress setup with Clawdbot right there. So it's all inside here directly. I mean, if I go to Clawdbot here, right, as you can see, I've plugged in my competitors now. And if I say, right, okay, create a guide on the YouTube alerts automation you just created, plus publish it to WordPress, right? And I've also got a link to Notion as well, so I can create Notion pages too. But if I say, okay, create a guide on the YouTube's automation you just created as a blog post with setup instructions, SOPs, etc., and a full guide, plus publish it to WordPress, what it's going to do is it's going to take all that information that I just took, right? The full guide, the full instructions, the whole process, the whole system, and it's going to create a blog post using that, optimize it for SEO, and then publish it on my WordPress website as a blog post. And it will publish it directly to WordPress automatically. It actually uses a sub agent for this and a skill that I've pre-programmed. I show it all inside the AI Profit Boardroom section right here. And yeah, it's really powerful for SEO. So if we go back inside now, you can see Clawdbot is typing. You just have to wait for that to finish, and then it will be done completely. Wilty says, how often do you update the how-to sections for different models in the AI Profit Boardroom? So we have multiple sections, right? So let me show you some examples. I think we're maybe the only AI community that actually does this, right? So if you go inside here, you can see that we update it every single day, right? So Moltbot, we updated this section literally just now on this live stream. For the 28th of January, which was just 2 days ago, we show you how to switch Moltbot from Claude to Codex. Inside this section, we show you how to a free Clawdbot masterclass. We actually added 3 new sections. So if you go inside the classroom and then SOP updates January 2026, you can get all the latest SOPs for using this stuff, right? So we literally update it daily. As soon as there's a new AI model, you know me, I'm on YouTube, I'm sharing what I'm learning, as you can see right here. So you've got Moltbot, 28th of January, 27th, 26th, etc. Everything that I learn, I test it within hours of the new update. I do a live stream like this. And then when I have the setup guide and I've mastered the skill, I put it inside the AI Profit Boardroom as a system that you can use. Now, if you want like the evergreen stuff that doesn't change, and you just like, I want the system, I don't want to do stuff daily, maybe you've only got an hour a week, then just stick to these modules, right? Or stick to the community. But if you want to go super deep down the rabbit hole, like I am, then you can check out the daily updates here. So whether you've got 1 hour a week, that's totally fine. Whereas if you've got like a lot of time and you want like daily updates, check out the SAP section right here where we do daily updates. And you can see we actually, on the about page of the AI Profit Boardroom, we actually mentioned when the course was last updated, and we literally update it every single day. Boom. All right, so if we go back to Clawdbot now, we have the new WordPress page published on how to set up YouTube competitor alerts. Like you can see, so this was published directly to WordPress using this process. And then there you go, you're good to go. All right. So it shows you, okay, here's what you're gonna do, here's what you need, here's how the alert rule works, how to get an API key, how to enable it, how to add competitor channels. And you can see like it took the whole process, and it did use my local files, but it doesn't show any API keys. And this is all hosted locally, so it's siloed off from the rest of the world. Right? And that's basically how it goes. So step by step, it not just understands the process, but actually teaches other people how to do this too. And by the way, if you want the full step-by-step process for setting this up, like you can see right here on WordPress, then inside the AI Profit Boardroom, I'm going to add a new section called YouTube Competitor Alerts. And so if you want a monitoring system like this, we've added it in, plus this tutorial video right here, right? So you can just get the process directly from me inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So let's go back to Clawdbot now. And we set up the first automation. That worked really well. If I want to redo all of the content silos, keyword densities, and everything on an existing website, can any of these tools do this? Yes, so Clawdbot can update existing pages. So for example, if I go inside here, right, I'm like, okay, can you add a nice relevant image to the post plus links to the AI Profit Boardroom? And then I'll put a link to the AI Profit Boardroom here. We should be able to edit that page directly on WordPress. Also, I'd like you to switch it to a blog post, not a page. And then we should be able to update it. I've not tried that, but I think we could probably do it. What else we got here? Code Chimp says, Julian, glad I made it. Are you walking now when you go live? I am now. Yeah, how many steps have I done today? It's 7 a.m. in the morning. I've done 11,300 steps. Crushing it. SEIC says, how complex is the setup process for running Clawdbot on a VPS? I'm looking to run Clawdbot on my own VPS to support large-scale SEO automation. Will I get access to video tutorials that cover VPS? Honestly, like I said, I mean, I've said it probably 5 times today already, but like, don't set it up on a VPS, because if you run it on a VPS, you can be exposed pretty easily, right? There's actually people scraping VPS pages right now to try and get access to other people's Clawdbots. And the problem is, if you give, like, for example, WordPress access to Clawdbot, and then someone scrapes your VPS and they get access to your VPS, right? Well, then they can hack your website. Not good, no bueno. right? And so you want to make sure that you're not using a VPS. Just run it locally. If all the security issues that I've seen so far come from two things. Number one is running it on VPS because people can get access to that from the outside, and it creates a gateway page where anyone can log in. And then number two is prompt injection. So, for example, this is why I don't connect to my emails, but if you connect your emails to Clawdbot and someone emails Clawdbot pretending to be you, well, potentially they could manipulate Clawdbot into deleting your emails or sending emails that you don't want to, etc. Right? And so, number one, avoid problems with gateway pages by not using a VPS, and then number two, avoid using your emails, so anything where people could manipulate Clawdbot with prompt injection. These are the two things you want to avoid. So if we have a look here, we've now got the blog post right here, and you can see that it said, right, I've added a nice relevant image, added a clear CTA at the top, linking to the airport for boardroom. I've switched it from a page to a blog post, as you can see right here, right? And then if we go, we've got the blog post set up, as you can see, right? That was quite easy to set up on the page, like you can see, right? And if you're wondering, okay, like, does this work, etc. So if you actually check out our search console for juliangoldie.com over the last sort of 3 months, you can see that it went from previously 74 clicks a day all the way up to like 561 clicks a day, as you can see right here, right? So you can actually create content with Clawdbot. You can rank it, as I've shown today. It can publish directly to WordPress, and that is a very powerful skill, right? Wilty says, very important information. Thanks, Julian. Always happy to help. You know me, like I'd have your best interests at heart. Like I don't want to see anyone get any issues from this. And it's better to be safe than sorry. That's what I would recommend. Just play it safe and don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable with. That's what I'd recommend to anyone watching. All right, so that was the first workflow done, messaging me proactively. What I also want to do is I want to say analyze my YouTube videos and give me new video ideas daily based on what's working. So I'm going to say analyze my existing YouTube videos each day, give me proactive video ideas based on what's already working, and tell me what to avoid too, right? I'm going to say, here's my YouTube channel. So I publish about, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 12 videos a day on this channel. And what I want you to do is act as a YouTube content expert and tell me what's in the bottom 90% and what's in the top 10%, so that I know which videos to focus on more when I'm creating more content for my channel. If you can do that each day, that would be great. Thank you. And now we should be able to set that up running as a daily skill. Coach Jim says, just joined your school. Welcome very much. Thanks very much for joining it. Plans to Nomad to take my vibe coding more seriously. Awesome, man. Congrats. Honestly, if I was starting like you, I would probably go with client work, because a lot of companies out there, they're looking for people who are experts with AI, and they're looking for people who can help them automate more stuff. So if you're deep into this and you need to just get like 1 or 2 clients so that you can go nomad and travel, that's probably the best place to start. It's like, try and get some clients. It will help you. Coach Chimp has 2 clients. All right, awesome, man. Congrats. And then Department of Personal Efficiency says, hello, just joined. Welcome, sir. Welcome. So we're going to get Clawdbot to set up this new automation which monitors my channel daily, gives me some ideas, and then from there tells me, okay, here's what's in the bottom 9%, here's what's in the top 10%. Do more of this, do less of that, right? Which is something that I genuinely have to like manually do, and it's super annoying. Whereas with this, we can just go ahead, right? What else we got here? SEO says, in that case, what setup or environment would you recommend for the best performance and stability? Mac Mini has been the best for me out of everything that I've tried. Also, is the recommended setup a paid service, or are there free options available? So if you set it up on a Mac Mini, right, then it's running locally, which means that it's going to be more secure. And then also, when it comes to the setup, do not connect Gmail, do not connect your emails, etc. GitHub itself for setting up Clawdbot is free, right? So you can use it for free, and there's no issues there. If you want to know how to set this up, just check out the instructions inside the Clawdbot course right here. We show you step by step how to set this up. And then when it comes to the API, I would recommend upgrading to Plus or Pro on ChatGPT, and then using Codex CLI with OAuth, right? Because then you get a lot more tokens. It doesn't cost you anything extra than your ChatGPT subscription, and you can run Clawdbot really well. It's really good for coding and everything else. It doesn't have much personality inside Clawdbot itself, but I'm actually going to come on to a nice, interesting way to fix that in a minute. So here we've got what I set up: daily top 10% versus bottom 90%. Analyzer, project folder, script, metrics, views per hour, so new uploads aren't unfailing, blah, blah, blah. Output includes top 10% examples. I ran a test. It's already pulling your recent winners and losers correctly. Daily proactive report scheduled. Added a daily cron job. So every day at 8 a.m. It will trigger to run the report for you. And it says one tweet question: because you post 5 to 10 today, do you want the daily report to analyze the last 60 videos or the last 200 videos? I'm going to go with, let's go with the last 60. Also, can you do a test run now so I can see an example of the report? Department of Efficiency said, yeah, I've already done a video about that, but basically this is why I switched over to using Codex instead of Anthropic, right? So if you're using OAuth from Anthropic with Clawdbot, that's not bueno, right? That's not bueno. But you can use ChatGPT Codex CLI, as far as I'm aware, right? Do you use Opus 4.5 all the time? No, I use ChatGPT Codex CLI. And the other option that you have now is Kimi K2.5, which I might set up in a second. What's your thoughts on Agent Zero? Pretty cool, but nowhere near the same level as Clawdbot, honestly, from what I've seen. So I quite like Agent Zero. I've got quite a few videos on YouTube about it, but I still prefer Clawdbot right now. Does Clawdbot eat up the same amount of RAM as Claude Code or more? Not as far as I've seen. No, it seems to be pretty lightweight because it's running in the cloud. Whereas, you know, like you've got Claude Code, which seems to take up a lot more space. But I don't know. I'm not like 1,000,000% certain on that one. I would just check it out and do the test yourself. So let's see. So it's now analyzed the top 10% versus the bottom 10% of the views per hour. It says here's the baseline average, here's the top threshold, and here's the top 10% of what's working, right? So it says Clawdbot, automate anything, free AR course, that's doing well. New Gemini agentic vision update is performing really well so far, 11,000 views. We've got anti-gravity and Moltbot, automate anything, that's doing pretty good. Gemini update, AI Studio update. So these ones are doing really well, right? And then we've got these bottom 9% that we want to avoid, right? So for example, you've got Clawdbot AI SEO, not so good, doesn't do so good, right? 3 new Chinese AI are insane, didn't do so well. This new free design tool beats Google. I can understand why as well. Like some of this stuff sounds super boring. And it's like what to avoid. And then next 5 ideas, right? So free tool destroys paid alternatives. Update workflow that gets results in 10 minutes, right? I copied a competitor's Clawdbot strategy. Here's what happened, blah, blah, blah. Right, pretty nice. If you want this to be even more useful daily, I can add 2 extra sessions. So repeat winners and this one as well. So I'm actually going to do that. Yes, add those. So, okay, I will try Clawdbot, but running on my laptop in a sandbox container is perfectly fine. I don't know 100% what you mean by like sandbox container. I know some people are using Docker for this, and then also I just run it in terminal, like just running it locally on a Mac Mini. Is this Clawdbot running locally or in VPS? As I've said many times, don't use a VPS. I've said it about 10 times, but don't use a VPS for Clawdbot. Code Jim says yes, Docker. Yeah, I know quite a few people running Docker with Clawdbot as well. So, yeah. So this is fixing the automation now to add the repeat winners section as well. But that should be one of the best things that I've just automated, because usually I have to do that daily myself. Analyze my YouTube videos, see what's performing, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this will save me a lot of time and a lot of analysis, which is awesome. Right? What else we got here? So we got a bunch of posts inside the AI Profit Boardroom about Clawdbot as well. So what's everyone feeling? Like, is it hype, etc.? I said the hype is real, but only if you use it correctly, right? Also, experience to work with Clawdbot. Salmon actually posted like his experience and how he set it up, etc. And that's pretty cool. It was a super useful post. Would recommend checking that out too. The name of your Clawdbot, let's see what people have called it. Pepe, someone called it. DJ Lobster. Hector. What else we got here? Yeah, there's so much cool stuff you can do with it. I mean, there's loads of people posting about it, how to be careful with it as well, as you can see. Lots of people installing Clawdbot inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. So yeah, there's loads. If you want to connect with people doing this, like join the AI Profit Boardroom. So now we've got the new sections added to the daily reports of the repeat winners, like you can see. And then it will just post it inside the chat here. Right, so you can see here. Okay, here's 3 fast things that we could set up right now. Pretty nice. Let's see what we got here. So B recommends using Proxmox. Not tried that out. Yip says, why don't use VPS? Because of security problems. Department of Personal Efficiency says, I bought a Minis Forum mini PC for my daily driver vibe coding machine. What's your way to make the usage more cost effective when I want to build NA10 workflows? So actually, I just use Clawdbot now. I don't really build NA10 workflows. I find like if I can have everything linked inside a simple Telegram chat like this, that's going to work way better and way faster than using something like NA10. And honestly, like most entrepreneurs I know are using AI to really scale their business, but they're not using NA10, right? And I don't know many people who actually get good results with NA10 when it comes to comparing that versus something like Clawdbot. I think Clawdbot just, it gives you better results overall. And I think it's a lot more practical and a lot more like useful because it can just go out in the real world and do stuff, right? Whereas, for example, NA10, it's kind of limited to its only little, it's a little container, if that makes sense. Code Chimp says I run Proxmox on a Geekom. Also got a Mac Mini Basic. SEO says I plan to run Clawdbot 24/7. Yeah, so I would recommend using a Mac Mini. I don't know why you would want to use like a Windows server for that. And I don't use Windows, so it's not something that I recommend. Yeah. I would recommend just going for just going for a Mac Mini setup. No VPS. Don't use Windows. I mean, who uses Windows? Like, it's no bueno, no bueno. Especially if you're interested in productivity. It's because you can create Python far faster than NA10 workflows. Yeah, 100%. It Machine says, personally saying clear from Clawdbot for at least another 6 months. More than likely, a big provider with the right backend security will launch some similar functionality. Yeah, I mean, like, I think right now, if you look at everything that we've got, I would say that Clawdbot is like the closest thing we've got to AGI. And it's interesting that it's come from an open source plugin, but like, I think in the future, yeah, you'll see something like, I probably Claude will launch your own thing that'll be better. Yeah. Is the Cloudflare workers setup more? Yeah, I've actually heard good things about the Cloudflare setup. I might set it up today just for fun, see if we can do it. So just to recap there, we set up 2 automations to monitor our competitors. One of them, we said, message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average. And I gave it a bunch of channel links, and now it's set up for a daily report. The other one that we did is say, analyze my YouTube videos, write in, and just give me some ideas on what's the top 10% and what's the bottom 10% for the day, so that I've just automated 2 tasks I normally have to do manually myself. That's pretty cool. If you want to get all the notes from today, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Inside the community, you can ask any questions and get help and support whenever you need it. And also, you can see here that it's not just me winning with AI, right? Everyone inside the AI Profit Boardroom is winning, building stuff, creating stuff. It's an amazing place today. You can see, for example, Norbert win today with AI mode and search engine. You've got, for example, Kevin building his very first app with AI. And then you've got, for example, Maddie who's crushing it with SEO as well, as you can see, right? So if you want to join the AI Profit Boardroom, feel free to, link in the comments description. You also get 4 weekly coaching calls. You could drop on live calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And also inside the classroom here, we have all of our best training. So you can see, for example, we show you how to go from complete beginner to expert with AI, plus how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you'll learn how to create AI avatar videos, and all of my best playbooks for marketing, including like X automations, how to automate shorts, Instagram, newsletters. It's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom with video tutorials and step-by-step guides. And then also you can see here we have a full 3-hour course on how to use Clawdbot or Moltbot, full setup guides for everything that I've set up, as you can see right here. And then also you can see inside this section, we have the full tutorial on what I set up today with a step-by-step guide. And basically everything you'd need to know about Moltbot is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. So today we're going to look at how to set up Kimi K2.5 with Clawdbot. So you can see here, for example, a lot of people are talking about using Clawdbot with Kimi K2.5 and how it runs locally, etc. So I'm pretty excited to try this out, test out, see how it performs. I'm also going to show you step by step how you can do the same if you want to try out Kimi K2.5. You might say, why would you use Kimi K2.5? Well, the difference here, right, as you can see from this tweet from GL1, is that it's at a similar level to Opus 4.5. Obviously, it's not as good, but it rivals top models. And it's a lot cheaper for tokens. Plus, you can set it up with Clawdbot to run all day. And that way, you don't run out of tokens, and you can connect this API directly to it. So we're going to test this out, see how it performs, etc. You can see an example of how it's running right here. Let's get into it. And you can see some other tweets. So Legendary says Kimi K2.5 is the best model for Clawdbot, Moltbot right now. Almost 4.5 quality, so Opus 4.5 is the leading API in the world. But this is way, way cheaper, right? So we're going to test this out directly. And you can also use Fireworks as a provider if you don't want to use Kimi directly as well. So that's some good advice right there too. So let's run through the Kimi K2 setup guide and see how it performs. Mikey says, are you walking on a treadmill talking to us? I am indeed. We're going on a journey together. SEO says, if I use Windows or a dedicated Windows server and successfully install Clawbot, no. Like it's all, once you got it set up, it's all good. Like you're all good to go. You can, you know, whether you're linking it directly to Clawbot via Windows or directly to Clawbot via Mac, that doesn't matter. Once it's set up, all the setup instructions are pretty much the same. IT Machine says GLM 4.7 Flash is a great model. I've heard mixed things about GLM 4.7 when it comes to this as well. So let's get straight into this. Can't wait for the Mac Mini load. It's been stuck in delivery. Setting up Clawbot in Docker. Excited to start using this. Agent Zero has been good with GLM Coda Max plan. I'm sure it's going to perform better with Clawbot. I actually spoke to Kazra Dash. We were on a live stream the other day, and he was using GLM 4.7, and he did say like it was significantly less intelligent once he installed that instead of Opus 4.5. So just something to be aware of. Anyway, let's get straight into this. So how can we do this? We have to set up Kimi code. Let's start running that. So you can get this here. And then we just need to get Kimi code. So let's get this bad boy set up. And we need to set up the plan. Let's see. Why has it got these crazy names like Moderato and Allegretto and Vivace? That doesn't make any sense to me. All right. So get your plan. Which plan are we going to go with? I suppose we can just go with the basic one. I'm just going to sign up with monthly. Oh, you get a 7-day free trial as well. So that's pretty nice. So we can try that, see how it is, see how it performs, and then go from there. So I'm going to set up the 7-day free trial now. So I've signed up to the trial, and then we need to get our own API key. So we're subscribed. Let's get the API key. Where do we get that from? Let's have a look here. Console, API key, create new API key. So you can see here, you can get it. You can get access directly here. So I'm going to click on create API key. We'll test this out. And then from there, we need to log into Moltbot and get this set up. And what I'm actually going to try to do is see if we can set this up directly inside Clawdbot. So I'm going to say, if I give you my Kimi K2.5 API key, can you add that? Just use it for subagents and subtasks. Keep Codex CLI as the main one. See if that works. So it's thinking about it. said, yes, we can add it, but don't paste the key in Telegram. Put the key in the EMV, or tell me what provider format you have. Here's your endpoint, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do here, let's have a look. I think we can install it with the installer. Let's have a look at the article. Paste your API key inside there. All right. And then I think we want to use Moonshot AI in the setup when we're running the config. So let's try this out. Going to go over to the terminal. And I think in the background, we can run the daemon for this, right? So you can see we can set up the onboard install. So I'm just going to run that in the background inside terminal. Obviously, I'm not going to share my screen whilst I'm getting an API key. And also, Clawdbot inside Telegram told me, like, don't put the API key inside the chat, so we won't do that. Then we're going to select Moonshot AI in the model and auth provider. And we've got a choice between Moonshot AI API key or Kimi Code API key. We'll go with Kimi Code, I think. And then I'm going to say, okay, I've done that now. Can you see Kimi working? Okay. Mikey says, I'm setting up this with Llama 3.3. So you're using Ollama, right? And then running Llama 3.3 locally, I assume. I don't know many people using Llama, honestly. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, I know a lot of people using many different API keys, you know, like GLM or Kimi or whatever, but I haven't seen anyone using it directly inside there. Let's have a look. I want to keep it all local and secure. Sounds good to me. I think Kimi K2.5 has broken it. It's not working anywhere near as well now. SEO says you mentioned not to use Gmail for login. What email provider or account setup do you recommend? I don't recommend using any sort of email service, but if you do want to connect it to email, what you want to do is create a completely separate email address purely for Clawdbot, right? That way no one else has access to it. It can still send emails, but it's not connected to anything else where someone could, prompt inject it. Olama launch works in command line, just came out 3 days ago. Yeah, I did a video about Olama with Clawdbot a couple of days ago. So you could eventually set up MCPs used by your local. Yeah, I've already done that. I've got a video on that on YouTube. Hey dude, I had issues getting Kimi Code to work. Me too right now. Because it kept rejecting the base URL. I ended up going through the automated onboarding in a separate terminal and followed the same instructions. Interesting. Yeah, I'm having the same problem right now. It's like being way less responsive since I switched it over. All right. Now, I think we've got that fixed. So if we go inside the chat here of Clawdbot, you can see, yes, it's configured now and your setup is exactly what you asked for. So you've got the main agent as Codex 5.2, and then we've got the sub agent as Kimi K2.5, right? So you can see it inside the instructions. One thing that I'd recommend is when you do this directly inside here, make sure that you restart the gateway, right? So once you've added the API key for Kimi K2.5, restart the gateway, and that way you can easily post it, right? One important thing, your Kimi key is visible, blah, 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 okay. And then running and responding. Okay, great. And it ran a quick sub-agent, tested it, so we're good to use Kimi for subtasks whilst keeping Codex as a main model. That's pretty nice. So I want to use my Discord. When you say don't use your own email, does this count for Discord? No, Discord is fine. You can use Discord. I've got it set up for Discord as well, right? It takes a little while, but I've got a full guide on it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you go inside the classroom here, SOP updates, then you would go to the course. And then we've got a full section on how to set it up for Discord directly here as well. So if you want to learn how to set up Clawdbot with Discord, full training inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or just go to AIProfitBoardroom.com. Right? So let's test this out now. I'm going to say, okay, use Kimi K2.5. Once I'm just going to confirm that it's actually got the SEO skill installed. You have the SEO skill installed, right? For creating content on WordPress. Please let me know. We'll do that inside the chat of Clawdbot. Yeah, so it's got the setup right here. And I'll say, okay, use your SEO capability to create a beautifully designed post on WordPress about how to set up Kimi K2.5 with Clawdbot/Moltbot. Publish it. Don't use the pages in WordPress. You should always use the posts section instead. Make sure it reads like a full blog post guide with FAQs, step-by-step instructions, plus write in third grade language in the style of Formosi. Use the page and link consistently as a CTA to join the AI Profit Boardroom. and then we'll say save this workflow to. All right, so just to recap, we will publish a full guide on how to use Kimi K2.5 on the website directly into WordPress using Clawdbot, using Kimi K2.5 to actually write it. And then we're going to save this as a skill, as a workflow, so that we don't have to keep repeating the same instructions. They can just do it consistently each time. What are the hardware specifications? So, like even just an old laptop, you can run this on. It's pretty chill. So when I mentioned separate email, I mean use just one email for Clawdbot that's away from everything else that nobody knows about, right? So for example, it could be like Clawdbot juliangoldie@gmail.com, and then you would use that for emailing people and that sort of thing. What other alternatives is there for a 24/7 AI employee? See, I mean, you could use Claude Code as well directly and just run that locally. But honestly, I've not seen anything as good for this stuff directly. Can Kimi be connected to anti-gravity? Yes, I have a video on that from yesterday. So if you check out YouTube, Kimi K2.5 anti-gravity Julian Goldie on YouTube, you'll find my video about it. And basically, you can use Kilo code with Kimi K2.5, and then you're good to go from there. All right. Is it possible to build my own using API LLM? Yeah, I mean, like you could create like a fork of Clawdbot, right, as well, I guess, if you wanted to. I'm guessing some people have done that. So that's an option. If you wanted to create your own, you know, there are many ways down that path. Or you can just use something standard like Lindy, maybe something like that as well. All right, so we've published the article using Kimi K2.5. Here's the article, boom shakalaka. Look at that, we got a nice little image inside the article. We have the keyword optimized setup, so Kimi K2.5 Clawdbot Moltbot. It's got it inside the URL as well. So let me just share my screen and show you what I'm talking about. So this is a page. It's all SEO optimized. Added a banner image, added the setup, and then it's actually linked to the AI Profit Boardroom community inside the article itself, all right, as you can see. So that was it. That's how number one, we've got the full guide set up based on what worked for me. And then number two, you can see exactly how to set it up right here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some information from, let's see how we can do this. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say, okay, prove the blog post. Spoiler says, man, a week ago the best we had was anti-gravity. Now Claude and Molt has stolen the show. AI moves fast. It is crazy how stuff this works. What else we got here? Blender. Okay, I'm not too technical to understand some of your terms, but I am working on a B2B business, so I have to learn some. Yeah, join the AI Profit Boardroom. That's got lots of good information on how to learn this stuff as a complete beginner. You can see here, for example, if you look inside the classroom, we've got this section that shows you how to go from complete beginner to expert in just 5 weeks using AI automation, plus how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. So I would start there if you want to learn this stuff. DP says, I only use Kimi for sub agents. Yeah, that's what I set up with Clawdbot as well. Okay. Open router latency is really bad for some reason. Like I mentioned before, like it was super slow when I was using it personally, so it's not great. How many steps per day? I always see you walking and you're looking lean as. Yeah, I do about anywhere between 20,000 to 30,000 steps a day, usually. Just feels good whilst I do it. I like to be active. I don't really like just sitting down all day. I don't think that's healthy. And then Coach Jim says, how many steps right now? Let's check what we're on. 15,800. Wow. Yes. It's been a good day, mate. It's been a good day. Productive. So we're just waiting for Clawdbot to update the old article to improve the workflow, etc. So you can see here it's typing now. And then what it will do is update the blog right here. Right? Because the instructions here are not that good. Coach Jim says I should set that up rather than slouching over a computer. Yeah, would recommend. It's helped me a lot. It's helping me a lot for sure. Have you been keeping an eye on token burn using Clawdbot? It burned through mine. I've already talked about both of those things, but yeah. So that's why I set up Kimi K2.5 because it's a lot cheaper. And then also when it comes to the security stuff, I've already mentioned that as well. I actually did a full video as well on it. Achim says, which platform do you use for your AI avatar? So if you want to learn how to create AI avatar videos using my process, check out the AI Profit Boardroom right here. And if you go down to the AI avatar video section, we have a full section on how to set up AI avatar videos. And also for the screen share videos that we automate with AI, you can check out the whole process right here. So this is the full process, full step-by-step guide on how to use it. That's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can just go to arprofitboardroom.com to check that out and get access. All right, so thanks so much for watching. That is how to set up Kimi K2.5 with Clawdbot. You saw I set it up today. We're using Kimi K2.5 because it's cheaper for tokens, and then also I can give it like sub agents to work on in the background with Kimi K2.5 whilst I use ChatGPT Codex for everything else, right? If you want to get the full setup guide and instructions, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just go to the SAP update section right here. We've got a full section on Clawdbot, how to set up, how to do all the stuff that I've set up with as well directly. And you can get all of my best trainers on that right here. Inside the community, you can ask any questions, get help, get support whenever you need it. So if we go to the community section here, you can post questions, and you can see it's a super active community where we just help each other out. Additionally, inside the action taker section here, you can see that you can post your goals and stay laser focused, avoid information overload, avoid shiny object syndrome, and just say, right, here's what I'm going to do today. Hold me accountable. And that's what this accountability group is about. Additionally, you can jump on 4 coaching calls per week inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And then also inside the classroom here, you can get all of my best trainers. So if you want to go from like complete beginner to expert with AI automation, we've got a full step-by-step course right here. And you can learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you can see that inside the classroom, we have full trainings on all of my best processes. So for example, like avatar videos and everything else. And then also inside the classroom here, you can learn how to get more clients. You can watch about the coaching calls if you can't make them. You can see our best AI SEO automations, so how to rank inside AI search engines, and then also how to do YouTube AI. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Plus you can connect with me personally and direct message me whenever you want to. NBA says, what's Genie? That is a new update from Google that we'll come on to in a second. I really need AI to assist me, be organized, stay on track. I have so many ideas. Yeah, it's so good for that. And then thanks so much for your time. I'm heavily subscribed with alerts and heavily considering joining school. Awesome. Welcome. So if you go back to Clawdbot now as well, is published the article, as you can see, step by step here. And we're good to go on that. Pretty nice. So today we're going to be looking at Google Genie. So Project Genie is like a real world vibe coding tool that can create actual worlds for you, like you can see inside this video. So you can kind of create like this video game style world, and you just type in how you want to build it. You know, it's kind of like almost a fox or a dog inside a Skyrim right here. You can change the characters, you can create the worlds, you can edit different things. You've got world sketching as well. So you can prompt, but you can also create a living expanded world from text or images and define exactly how you'll navigate it, from flying through clouds to driving through the desert, etc. As you can see in the example right here. So you basically prompt the environment and you also prompt the character. And then you can create these characters that navigate real worlds. So it's kind of like you can create your own, GTA almost using this process. So here's another example. So you've got world exploration, and you've got like this full like navigatable environment that you can explore using Project Genie. And it's all generated with AI using Google's Project Genie tool. Here's another one. So this is where you can remix other people's worlds, right? So if someone creates a world, you can actually edit the world they've created, create your own version, and modify it so that it's working on your own platform. So like imagine in the future, you could take like a game and completely remix it exactly how you want, and then you can explore it how you want to, which is pretty amazing. So you can see the full details here. It says Project Genie experimenting with infinite interactive worlds, right? And this is available for Google AI Ultra subscribers in the US, and you can try it out if you're in the US and have a Google AI Ultra subscription. And you've now got access to an experimental research prototype that lets you create and explore your own worlds, which is insane if you ask me. So let's have a look here. Here's some examples. So 2025, they actually announced it last year. That was Genie 3. And now it's available for you to start creating your worlds. And look at the quality of this. It's absolutely amazing what you can do. So this is a page. If I actually click on Try Project Genie, it's not going to be available. So if I click on Explore now, even though I'm on the AI Ultra plan, I can't get access, and it will just give me an error like this because I'm outside the US. Obviously, there's a few ways around that. If you're inside the AI Profit Boardroom, you can DM me. I'll give you some ideas. But yeah, basically, it's really insane what you can do and that sort of thing. What we got here? I really want to create a virtual reality game. Do you think this will assist me with this? I think in the future that's coming where you can create your own virtual reality games. But right now, you can kind of create your like a real world exploration tool. This is what you're doing with this AI. Michael says that's cool, kind of like how LLMs make things up as they go. This would be good for infinite world generation without any scripting or coding really needed. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly how it works. I mean, you know, when I was younger, I always wanted to like be a game coder. Honestly, I thought that would be quite a fun thing to do. And now you can create your own worlds, and you know, almost like a game. And you just type it in plain text, and the AI creates it for you. There's some amazing examples right here, as you can see. So you got like volcano, jellyfish. You got this crazy world that's very surreal with mountains floating above a waterfall. All sorts of crazy stuff right here. And who knows in the future what it's going to be like, you know, when you combine this with like robotics, when you combine it with, for example, learning, you know, imagine learning in like your own sort of virtual environment. That would be pretty amazing. And also virtual reality. How insane would that be? So you can see here, they said at Google DeepMind, we have been pioneering research in simulated environments for over a decade, from training agents to master real-time strategy games to developing simulated environments for open-ended learning and robotics. And then you can see how the three models compare. So this is still in 720p, by the way, for Genie 3. Domain, general, navigation, promptable world events, multiple minutes real time, right? And here's another example of a world that's been created. And then you can click the arrows to navigate through the world, as you can see right here in the bottom left. So you can sort of go through Mars on this little terrain. So you can see the prompt actually that generated this. It says, the video shows a first-person perspective of someone navigating difficult terrain in the middle of a volcanic area. This is a real-world video shot from the perspective of a wheeled robot that needs to traverse across a terrain. And it looks, it's very like, very interesting to see how it goes. Almost like it's infinite. Like you can just go through the whole map. I think if you've ever used to play stuff like Skyrim or GTA, etc., this was like the most fun thing about it, was exploring those different worlds. So now you can create your own in any style that you want. It's amazing. All you need to do is just give it a little prompt. I mean, this is interesting as well, because that's not even a complex prompt, as you can see at the bottom there. Just a one-sentence prompt, but it looks amazing. Here's another one. So this is like a animation, like a cartoon one. It says, a vibrant 3D style, adorable fluffy creature bounding across a vibrant rainbow bridge in a fantastical landscape. Kind of reminds me a little bit like Mario or something. It looks cool. This one floating through the world. But yeah, it's just amazing that you can do this now. And who knows what's going to come out or what you can build and that sort of thing. It's pretty cool. And bear in mind, like, this is the worst it's ever going to be. So you got like world sketching, you have world exploration, world remixing. Those are the three main features of this, right? So world sketching is where you prompt with text to get your character and the environment. World exploration is where you actually navigate the environment and you explore the world yourself by using the arrow controls. And then you have world remixing, where you can take other people's worlds as inspiration and then build on top of them with your own prompts, right? To sort of remix them and restyle them. So it's going to be amazing. I expect that to come out to, the rest of the world probably later this year. Right now, it's only available to Google AI Ultra subscribers in the US. But it was the same with, for example, like Veo 3. That was only available in the US, and then it came out to everyone eventually. I imagine it's the same with Google Genie too. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the AI Success Lab. This is a free AI automation community with 50,100 members, like you see. Comes with loads of training. We've actually got training on Project Genie, like you can see right here. We have a bunch of video tutorials and step-by-step guides on how to use Google Genie Project to build whatever you want. And this also comes with all my best automations and free tutorials, like you can see. And if you haven't checked it out already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. It's available, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. And inside there, you can see we've got an amazing community of people learning and growing and just posting and helping each other with AI. You can see that it's not just me winning with AI. Loads of people are building and scaling their business with AI automation too, which is awesome. And then also we have 4 weekly coaching calls, so you can jump on live calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And additionally, if you want to learn AI automation but you don't have much time, you can go from complete beginner to expert with this in just 5 weeks, plus learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. If you want to go really deep on this and get the latest stuff, you can check out the SAP update stuff. We update this every day and we date it, as you can see. And then also, you get all of my best playbooks, so all the stuff that's working for me, whether it's avatar videos, whether it's X automations, emails, shorts, Instagram videos, etc. That's all inside here too. And then additionally, you can see how to get more clients inside the agency course, how to rank #1 inside Google and AI search engines using AI SEO, and also my best 6-week roadmap that shows you how to grow a YouTube channel based on what's working for me with AI. So feel free to get that link in the comments description to the AI Profit Boardroom. Let's see what questions we've got here. Do I need animation and edit skill to build a faceless YouTube channel, or can I use some AI tools? Yeah, so check out the AI Profit Boardroom section. And what you want to do is go to the classroom and follow the guide inside the classroom here. So if you go to the AI avatar videos, we show you how to do this without any technical skills. We show you all the tools, the setup, the step-by-step guide, and the instructions inside this section right here. That's what I recommend. Do you have any plans to move to the USA? No, I don't. I went to the USA for the first time ever last year, twice, right? And I went to Los Angeles and I went to Tampa, Florida as well. And I liked it, but my favorite is Asia. Asia is my favorite place to live in the world. I've lived all over the world, like Colombia, Peru, Mexico, Bali, Malaysia, Thailand. I've traveled all over the world as well, to like Italy and Portugal, and pretty much everywhere. But I always come back to Asia. I think it has a certain magic to it. Do you think you could make something similar to the original Street Fighter with AI? Probably good, actually. I think that'd be interesting. Like, you could navigate the world using that. That's cool, but having a rover on another planet and driving around with a VR headset, exploring real alien worlds would be cooler. Yeah, but I think if you see, it's like, there's this big gap between VR and world exploration and where we currently are. And so, like, you can imagine, just give it a few years, like Project Genie will be something that will help us do that. All right. Thanks for helping me so much with your content. Always happy to help. In terms of automation and business services, which is better, Editor or Clawdbot? I have a treadmill, my sand desk tool, great method. Thank you very much, sir. I would agree. And then Code Chimp says, big love. Always happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. So today we're going to be checking out Moltworker, which is a middleware worker that can use Moltbot, which was formerly known as Clawdbot, directly inside Cloudflare's Sandbox SDK, right? So a lot of people are worried about security when it comes to Clawdbot and how it connects with the world, etc. And so I'm going to test this out and see how this performs. We've got the full blog over here. I want to see how easy or difficult it is to set up as well. And we've got the full step-by-step instructions right here. So here's some examples. I mean, there's a few security issues with Clawdbot, right? So number one is the issue. I'm going to summarize this because it's a super long article. One of the biggest issues, of course, is if you're on a VPS, or someone could get access to the VPS, and then they can access your Clawdbot. That's not a good idea. The other option is that some people could email any sort of email account that you've connected to Clawdbot and then use prompt injection to get access to it. Both of those are pretty bad, right? Both of those are bad scenarios. So we don't want that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to try this method using Moltworker. I'm going to say how to set this up. It'd be good if they just gave you the instructions on exactly how to set it up straight away. That would be way, way easier. Coach Jim says, thanks for covering Cloudflare. I was starting to look into this. Yeah, me too. I want to check this out. I think this will be a good one. So quick setup. Here's how we can install it. And you can see it's actually a GitHub right here. So this is the GitHub that you can use to set it up. And we have to get the workers paid plan, I think, to get this set up. So I'm just going to try this out. We need to sign up to the workers account. I will do that for you, peeps. Let me do that in the background. We have signed up now. So you can see we've upgraded to the workers plan. That was nice and easy. And now we need to get started with this, right? So we're going to get started with setting up Moltworker. Open this up in a new terminal. And we're going to start by cloning the git clone. From there, we need to set up the API key. So I'm just going to go to console.anthropic in the background and set this up. So you can get an API key here. You just go to API keys down there and then create key. Like this. And then we need to do npx wrangler secret, put Anthropic API key. And then once you've done that inside terminal, so once you follow the terminal commands, it will look something like this, as you can see. All right, so you've got read, here's what we're allowing it to do, here's what it can do. We're going to click on allow here. And we have now allowed that directly. Now we need to grab this stuff. From our terminal, so I'm just going to do that in the background too. And then we should be able to deploy that directly with Cloudflare. PM says, bro, I thought you said Moltbot was GG and hype. No. I always said it's good. The first time I tried it, I couldn't get my head around it and I thought it was hype. But after that, no, I've absolutely loved it. I've been covering it every day on live streams and showing all the cool stuff that I could do with it. So it's pretty amazing. And then also what we need to do is install Docker. So I'm just doing that in the background too. Using terminal. It's just downloading Docker and installing it to my Mac. And then from there, we can npm deploy it again. Is there a replay? I just seen a notification 2 hours ago. Yeah, just go to YouTube, go to the stream section, and you'll see it right there. So you can always replay it and watch it back. SEO says, come to Malaysia. I haven't drunk for pretty much 11 years now. I don't drink at all. Only protein shakes. All right, so we've now set it up, I think. Let me just have a look here in the background. Just going to take the files from terminal and just check if it's okay or not. I think we're going to have to open up Docker too. And Claude is just showing my API key on the live stream. Thank you, mate, for putting that in the chat. Why did it do that? That's crazy. All right. Almac says, how about security issues in Moltbot have been going about even when installed on other machines? That's why we're using Clawdbot and Moltbot with Cloudflare today to see how Moltworker performs. I didn't like the name Clawbot until they renamed it. I would agree. I think the new name is really bad. Really bad. So we've got to set up the API key, generate a gateway token, deploy and set up Cloudflare access. All right, one sec. And then what we also need to do is enable R2 storage, apparently. So we'll add that in. We do get 10 gigabytes free monthly. Not bad says there's something called remotion. People told that it can automate editing with Claude. Yeah, I've already covered that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But basically all you do is like you go inside Claude here and you'd say, okay, install the remotion skill for videos, right? And then basically using Clawdbot, you can install this skill from GitHub and start coding out that way. Now, it also says inside Claude Code, R2 is now working. You need to set up a workers.dev subdomain. So go to workers and pages in your Cloudflare sidebar under compute and AI. So here, workers and pages. And then I think we're good to go on that. And now it should be deploying that. So you can see here we've got Moltbot sandbox set up on the workers and pages section inside Cloudflare. By the way, if anyone's watching this and thinking, oh yeah, Cloudflare have created Moltworkers, it must be easy to set up. It doesn't seem easy at all. Like it seems like a lot of technical work, honestly. Just gonna warn you now. And this is a website it should be deployed at once it's fully built out. So you can see here, I've taken the Claude code and it says it's working, it's just slow. The deploy is pushing Docker container layers to Cloudflare. This is a container image loading. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes first time. Just wait for it to finish. And that so far has taken 3 or 4 minutes just to set up. And now you can see the Moltworker is beginning to be set up. We just need to set up the tokens, as you can see right here. But we're much closer to getting that set up, and that's set up on the Moltbot sandbox. You might be wondering, okay, like why would you use Cloudflare versus hosting it locally or hosting it on a VPS, right? So let's talk about that. So a Moltbot is like a personal assistant running 24/7, right? So the old way would be like you buy a computer, put it in your house, the assistant lives there, you're responsible for locking the doors, paying electricity, etc., right? The new way is like Moltworker on Cloudflare is like instead of using your house, the assistant works from a massive secure office building that Cloudflare owns, right? And you just pay the rent. And so the security is better because it has zero trust access. To keep it more secure. It's got like isolated sandboxes for each task, as you can see. So each task runs in its own sandbox. And if something goes wrong, it can't spread, right? Whereas, for example, if you're using your own setup, everything is shared in the same space. Also, there's no keys lying around. So if you've heard about it already, Clawdbot often has these config files in like plain text with your API key stored, which is not great. And then Cloudflare, like the whole point of Cloudflare is security, right? So they protect pretty much half the internet. Whereas, for example, your Mac, like sitting in your apartment, probably not as secure, right? Same with VPS, where anyone can scrape the website and then get access to the gateway. So it's just a much more secure way of doing this. So let's go back to the setup now. We see where we're at. So we need to set up this, as you can see, for the admin UI. How is everyone managing their token usage with Moltbot? So I'm using Codex CLI, and I also set up Kimi K2.5. I also got a video on Olama. So if you want to run a model locally with Olama, then you can do that. And then from there, you can use Olama for free, running it locally with Clawdbot as well. So that's another way. So in terms of like what's working best for me, ChatGPT Codex CLI with OAuth. Then from there, using Kimi K2.5 for sub-agents. And then if you really need to, you can use Olama locally for sub-agents as well. Now what we're doing from here is we had to enable inside the workers and pages section. So if you go to compute and AI, workers and pages, settings, and then you want to make sure that for workers.dev, you toggle on Cloudflare access, like you can see. It's quite important. Then you'll get a key, audience key, and you just plug that back into Claude Code if you're setting up with that directly. Now what you'll see on this address is that we'll get a login code emailed to us so that it's secure before anyone can log in. So they need to have their email set up and get a code before they can log in directly. So previously the page looked like this, and now we've got a page where we have to add our email address before people can log in, right? So I'm going to do that in the background. Then it's going to add a container, like you can see. So I emailed a code to my email address, use that code to log into Moltworker. Everything is siloed away inside the container. And that's probably a better way of using it, to be honest. I feel better about using that, right? Client flow says, so buying a Mac Mini is pointless. It depends how you want to do it, but for me, like this is working nicely already. And now we've logged into Moltbot Sandbox, like you can see, right? And we just need to set up our token. But this is what it will look like once it's logged in. Did you use a free tier for Cloudflare? So I think it's like $5 to get access to this, something like that. Tim says, I asked Anti-Gravity if I could set it up with an old laptop and install Ubuntu. Interesting. Yeah, I think you could. There's many ways you can set it up. Like an old laptop works perfectly, I think. think what we need to do to fix this problem is just make sure that we switch the API key, which I'm doing in the background with Claw code. And now, boom, shakalaka, we're in. And you can see it's set up. So the health is okay. It's all set up right here. This is Clawbot ready to go. I'm not going to lie to you. That was the hardest thing that I've ever tried with setting up Clawbot. So if you're looking for an easy way to set up Clawbot, Moltworker is not the one. But if you're looking for one of the most secure ways to set it up, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me give you an example, right? So you can see here, for example, we can go to Moltbot admin, like you can see, and then we can actually see which devices are paired, and you can approve devices before they can actually log in. So just to recap here, with Cloudflare and Moltworker, number one, takes quite a long time to set up, but once it is, you log in, you set your own API key, and then you approve logins before people can go in. Plus, they have to use an email and log in with a code from that email address before they can log in. So it's quite nice because everything is sandboxed away with Docker. It's not hosted locally. It's not hosted on a VPS. And the only way people can get access is like you approve them first via the admin pairing requests. And then once that's done, then they can get back in. Otherwise, they can't get in at all, right? Which is pretty cool. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get a full guide on setting this up, what I've actually done is plugged in a full guide inside the AI Profit Boardroom on how to set up Moltworker. So if you want to set this up in a sandboxed environment that's much more secure and you still want to use Clawdbot, then I've walked you through the whole process right there. This is inside the AI Profit Boardroom community. You can get access, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. And then from here, you actually get access to a community of 2,200 members. We have a daily accountability group for getting stuff done. Inside the classroom, we have a full we have loads of trainings on Clawdbot and Moltbot, including how to set up Moltworker, which I would recommend if you're worried about security. Like, that's probably a great way to set it up, right? Cloudflare, they have one job, which is keeping things secure. This way you can run things via Docker in a sandbox, and you approve logins before anyone can get access to it, right? And that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We also have a full 3-hour course on exactly how to use this stuff. So if you go to this section, you'll see a full 3-hour course. It shows you how I create avatar videos with Moltbot, how I create voice clones, voice notes, how I monitor YouTube and run it 24/7 to give me alerts when competitors create outlier videos. It analyzes my own YouTube channel, gives me alerts and reports and that sort of thing. I've connected it to WordPress, Telegram, Notion, anything that you can think of, you can basically do with Moltbot. It's absolutely insane. And then also, if you want to get all of my best playbooks, processes, systems, etc., that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom too. We do 4 weekly coaching calls where you can jump on the calls and ask any questions, meet the community, get help and support whenever you need it. If you go inside the map here, you can connect with people in your local area, which is pretty amazing. You can see that we have 2,200 members all over the world, which is awesome. And then also inside the classroom here, you can learn how to get more clients with our agency course, how to rank #1 inside AI search engines, how to grow a YouTube channel with AI, all based on what's working for me right now. So feel free to get that link in the comments and description. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.